Welcome to the JAMODI podcast, where we interview coaches and leaders to find out not just what they do, but how they do what they do. Becoming the best version of ourselves is JAMODI, just a matter of doing it. What's the best thing that you've borrowed lately?
Well, I guess on the court it'd be the zone stuff that we talked about a while ago. The 3-2 zone has been good for us. We have some guards that they're really active, and we have some big guys this year. We're playing two bigs. Really, the first time in a long time we've played two bigs. We start first two games we've started a 6'10" and a 6'6", and the back to what we said about man off, the people, the way they're playing offense now, there's so much 5 out. Very few people have a back to the basket guy. If we just sit in the man, it's hard for our guys to chase them around and
That's
guard
right.
them. So when we're playing the zone, we know where our big guys are going to be, and so they're closer to the basket and they can rebound.
And you can use their length to their advantage. I think man to man when they're pulled away from the basket.
Right. That 3-2 is perfect for those big guys getting out in that corner and contesting the shot.
Yep.
And you got some that can do that pretty well. Off the court, I guess culture, whatever. It's not something new, but it's something this year that I went back to from years and years and years ago. I pulled out my John Wooden Pyramid of Success, and we've spent time. We just finished up, but we spent time about 3 days a week before practice going over the different building blocks in the Pyramid of Success, and culminated with Coach Wooden. This year's team has a lot of expectations. We have two seniors that have been starting since they were freshmen. We have good size. We have a junior that's being recruited. Some of the polls have us ranked in the top 25. High expectations, and I was really worried about guys feeling that pressure, trying to do that. 17-year-old guys, that's a lot. And so, Coach Wooden's definition of success that he came up with was success is a peace of mind, which is a direct result in self-satisfaction in knowing you did your best to become the best you were capable of becoming. And I thought maybe if I could get that across to him, it would take a little bit of the pressure off that, what other people's expectations, and that has nothing to do with your success. How successful we are as a team is determined by, are we the best we can be? And that's what matters. And that I go way back, and you may not be interested in this, but when I was in junior high, it was about junior high, I realized I was probably not going to be in the NBA or the NFL. Just genetics weren't going to kick in.
You knew.
But I started thinking, my junior high coaches always looked like they were having fun. I love sports. I was the gym rat, the guy that was there. And I started thinking about coaching. My 8th grade reading teacher, we all had to take reading then, gave me a book called They Call Me Coach. They Call Me Coach was the biography of John Wooden. And I read that book. Part of it talked about how he formed the pyramid and all that went into it. And be honest, Miss MacArthur gave me that book. That solidified the fact I was going to be a coach. And so the rest of the time, high school, college, everything, I was playing, but at the same time, in the back of my mind, I was always thinking, I'm going to coach. And, we used to talk about the pyramid. I kind of got away from it. And really what brought it back is watching Ted Lasso on TV. He has a pyramid of success hanging in his office.
That's right.
I don't know if you've ever noticed it. I thought, man, let's just go back and go over that with the guys. Maybe that'll, be something that they can take with them.
Coach, there's a lot of gold in that show too. There's a lot of gold in that.
I love it. I love it. The top of the pyramid, competitive greatness. Be at your best when your best is needed. Love the battle. Love of a hard battle. And, that's one of the things that I think really separate the championship, the great teams, is they play their best in the clutch situations. It's easy to go out and play good when you're up 30.
Yeah.
But are you at your best when your team needs you to be the best? And so we've been hitting home on all that stuff and hoping that it'll carry a little bit, and again, maybe something that they can take with them when they leave the program. About and that definition of success was good for me, because when I was in high school, I was not a great player. Junior year I hardly ever got on the court. Senior year I played, but we weren't a very good team. I always wanted to have my name up on the wall at Trinity High School, all district. It wasn't there. So if I compare myself to what other people were doing, I was not a very good player. But if I was the gym rat. I was there all the time. When I look at my career, I can feel like I was pretty successful because for what the good Lord gifted me with, about a 4-inch vertical jump and running a 5.440 or whatever, for what he gifted me with, I was about as good as I could be, and I always
Yeah.
felt about that. And I think that's important that if we can get people to realize, say, just don't compare yourself to everybody else. Just be the best you can be.
Yeah, I think that's a powerful story because you're right. You'll only have 1 or 2 stars, or maybe if you're lucky to have one of those magical teams where you've got 4 or 5 of them, but those just don't come around that much. Majority of the players in your team, 2/3 of them are going to be the kind of guy that you're talking about that you probably won't be on any records or walls or there. But what you want all of them to do is to leave with a sense of accomplishment that you gave your very, very best. And then another thing you said, I think every team wants to be talked about or ranked high and to have those expectations. But with that comes pressure that
Right.
is sometimes really hard. And you nailed it as these 17-year-olds. So using that pyramid and taking the pressure off of them and just letting them focus on what's most important, which is what's right there in front of them that day. I think that's brilliant, man.
Well, we hope so. I don't want them to feel like that every game's a do or die. It's not. I want them to just go out there and be the best they can be. And if we'll do that, the wins generally take care of themselves. If you're a good player and you're the best you can be, then everything will be fine. And again, if pressure's tough, and there's a lot of kids. I don't know. I said I wasn't very good. It may be a good thing. I don't know if I could handle the pressure that some of these kids.
Well, social media doesn't help by any means.
Social media doesn't help at all. But I think of the high school football playoffs are going on. I think of being a high school quarterback at South Lake or something like that in front of a full house on TV, and you're 17 years old, 16 years old, and you've got to go out there and make those play. I mean, that's a lot of pressure for a kid. That'd be a lot of pressure for a grown up.
Oh yeah,
and it's so I think anything we can do to help take some of that off and just help them to want to be good and to enjoy it without my coach say you dig a hole and you cover yourself up when you put that kind of pressure on yourself.
Thank you for checking out today's episode. Please take a moment to subscribe to this podcast, share it with your fellow coaches, and find us on social media for what's coming up next on the JAMODI podcast. It's just a matter of doing it.